Okay. All right. So I want to make sure I have that correct. So you're seeing that. So I'm gonna do my tier 6, and we're gonna do a co-op.
Okay. Wait, wait, wait.
Leave queue. Leave queue. Abort.
Yeah.
Abort.
Okay, so first off, I want you to go to the exterior tab. So there's
Okay.
port, equipment, exterior.
Mhm.
Okay. Now I want you to go to camouflage, and you notice how right now, if you look down at the bottom, it says auto resupply. You need to change that to enable.
Okay.
But I guess you can't at the moment because you don't have anything selected. So if we look up,
Yeah.
we'll see permanent, and then we'll see expendable. You want to click
Mhm.
the permanent one.
Okay.
Because this is a premium, so it comes with its own special camo. And then auto supply, it's enabled. Cool. So that way, it's always going to be on, so you don't have to mess with it.
Okay.
All right, so you wanted to play in co-op?
To start,
Sure, it's
and
fine.
then we can go into random. Just don't look at chat.
Well, how about we do this instead?
Okay.
Click on co-op
Okay. It's there.
and open up that little menu. So click on the co-op thing and go down to the bottom right. There's something called training battle.
Yes.
Cool. And down to the bottom right, create battle.
Mhm.
And so the map is ocean, but if you go to the battle mode, set it to armor resilience test. All it really means is that, the enemies aren't going to spawn forever and a day away, which is nice. So if we look over on the left, there's the map, and it has nothing on
Right.
it because it's ocean.
Right.
And we'll
Right.
see ocean, and then below that is going to be battle mode. You want to set it to armor resilience test.
Okay.
Cool.
Got it.
And
Got it.
battle time, I guess, is in the conditions. It's the top of the middle box. Set
Mhm.
that to like 30 minutes or whatever.
Oh,
Just
30. Okay.
yeah, it's time. You don't have to worry about
Okay.
it. A number of players, change it to 12v12.
Okay.
Don't worry, this is not scary. Go ahead and hit create.
Okay.
All right. So the first thing I want to do is just to be able to see how you shoot, because that's going to be one of
Right.
the basic concepts of how to play a CV. You got to know how to shoot stuff.
Right.
So over on the other team, it's going to say add player. I want you to click on that. Just anywhere on that list.
On the left side or right side?
On the enemy side, so the
Enemy
right side.
side.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Click. Okay. And on the top, there's players, but there's also bot. I want you to add bots.
Okay.
And there's an option between bot is moving or armed. We don't need it to be moving. We don't need it to be armed. It's fine.
Okay.
So
All right.
click on the Icarus.
Okay.
And you're going to have to like mouse over because it's a little weird. You don't click on stuff. And just pick a
Right.
cruiser. And we're going to pick some tier 6 cruisers or something. Easiest one is probably like the US cruisers, because at least
Okay.
I know of them, or maybe Italian. We just want to pick a cruiser that has a citadel that we can hit. So
Okay. Oops.
let's go US cruisers and let's do some Omaha. That's a tier 5. That's going to be a good one.
Okay.
Cool. And just click the add button like 4 or 5 times. Nice. So that gives us a few different things to shoot. And then go back to that Omaha and click on that. And then let's add a battleship. Any battleship you want that's like tier 6 or something. I don't care.
Okay.
It's okay. Not scary. And just click add a few times. Cool. So now that that's good, you can go over and you can click ready, which is on the left side for your team,
Okay.
basically, and then click battle. So it's just going to be some bots. They're just going to sit there and you can shoot them. But the Lowenhart is actually a hard carrier to start with.
Oh, really? It's my favorite.
Well, I mean, it's a great carrier, but it's a hard one to use because of the AP rockets. So AP rockets have to be really precise, like German precision precise. So go ahead and start the battle. It's still going to take 15 seconds for it to whatever. But first off, we're going to play with the rockets. So with the Lowenhart, it is extremely important to use the rockets and the bombs. Rockets, you want citadels. If you don't get citadels, it's just kind of like, aw. And then bombs, I mean, bombs are great, but ideally we want fires if at all possible. So let's start off with some rockets and let's go shoot an Omaha.
Okay.
So the good thing about the Omaha is it has a big citadel, and the citadel is above the water. So it's like at the water line or just a little bit above it. So with AP rockets, we want to come in on a broadside so that we can shoot those. And that center line of that reticle, we're going to want to have that like just at the water line or just a little above it, almost like it's inside the ship.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So that's a little bit high because we can see that line is a little bit past the ship.
But I did get a Citadel hit.
You did. That's good. So you can go ahead, spin around, and try to find another Omaha so that you can shoot at. And secondly, okay. Well, let's shoot an Omaha again, and then we'll go over some basics.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
well, that's a Bayern.
I know. Sorry. But I was over there, so.
Sure. All right, so there is an Omaha over there that you can look at. So turn to your left, because if you turn out to the right, you're going to be going kind of at an angle, whereas if you turn left, you're going to catch more of his side.
Okay.
And you'll see him, so I want you to use the mouse and kind of point at the Omaha. It's going to be to the left a little. There we go, that one. You want to look at him with your mouse.
Oh, I didn't get there in time, sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead and shoot. Well, here, just go ahead and hit F. So we're gonna talk some super basics because you got to start with the basics.
Right.
Go ahead and double hit 1, so we can send up some more rocket planes.
Right.
All right. In a moment, once the planes get off the deck, you're gonna see a reticle appear on the water. Do you know what that reticle means?
The circle?
Yes.
Right. That's where you kind of want to have that oval
Okay, so
kind of outlining the whole ship.
So without touching any of the mouse keys or moving your mouse, I just want you to click the left mouse button once, and I want you to watch. So where that gray was, that's where that reticle is fully dialed in. That's where it's as small as it's going to be if you don't turn, if you don't speed up or slow down, if you don't do any of that. So that's what that reticle means. So let's hit the attack button right now.
Right. Oh.
Just, at the water, it's fine. And think, right now, you have 3 more seconds after that reticle is finished firming up that you can keep moving forward. So you don't have to actually click the reticle when it's directly on the ship. You can do it a little bit short, and then it's all nice and firmed up, and you can find that line and, bam, take that shot and make that hit. So go ahead and recall.
Okay.
And let's take some rockets and go for an Omaha again.
Okay.
So we want to strike the Omaha on its broadside.
Right.
We want to get the center line of our reticle, like right at kind of the water line or maybe just a little bit in. And we want to make sure that we start our attack when the reticle is still early before it gets to that ship so that we can have it nice and dialed in, and then we can move in and get the reticle right where we want and take the shot. Okay. Now, it's obviously going to be a lot more crazy and complex in an actual battle, but you got to start where you start. So we started, you got your reticle early. Good. Now it's nice and firmed up, and you click. Boom. 10,000. Big damage.
Okay.
And spin around and go ahead and do that again.
All right. Always spin to the left.
Well, it's not to the left or to the right. So, like, if you think about it, if you spin to the left, you're going I'm sorry. This is hard to describe without my little like whiteboard paint thing. You want to turn in response to how the enemy ship is turning to help you see the part of it you want to shoot. So sometimes if the ship isn't moving, like that Omaha wasn't moving at all. Okay, we need to talk about one other thing, but that'll probably get you a Citadel or 2. All right, let's go ahead and recall.
Okay.
Okay, I want you to lift off with some rocket planes, and I want you to start to attack your carrier. You don't have to like. I'm not necessarily saying. Yeah, I know. What? Don't worry. You're not gonna blow your carrier up if you shoot it with a few rockets. It's okay. It's made of some pretty good stuff. But I'm seeing something that's going on, which is you're fighting with yourself. You're starting your attack with the keyboard, and then also kind of the mouse, but then also kind of the keyboard and stuff. So the reticle is wiggling back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because you're telling it how to move with the keyboard, but not with the mouse. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to fly past the Lowenhart for a good distance. And then I want you to turn on the Lowenhart using your keyboard so that you can put the reticle looking at the Lowenhart. And then I want you to take your hands off the keyboard and use the mouse to guide the reticle all the way to the enemy ship. So keep using the keyboard, use the keyboard, and now just use the mouse. Don't even use the keyboard. Now, if you notice, when you look this far off, it doesn't turn. Because now don't touch the keyboard. I want you to turn, and I want you to find the CV. So look forward. Now the reticle is going to reattach to the mouse, and now you can start to turn it. So I want you to move the mouse and feel how it turns. If you turn too much, it breaks free, and you can look around and look at stuff, but it's not going to track. Like right now, it just broke free. So look back in the center, look ahead of the planes, pop, it just reattached, and now you can guide it back to the carrier.
Okay, so I can't right click. If I left click, then it's whatever. And then is it a center click? Because if I left click and try to move, or if I'm moving the mouse at all, they're not moving. They're just going straight.
Okay, so I want you to move. Confused. So point your mouse right at that reticle. I want you to look right at the reticle. Cool. Now I want you to look a little to the left and just kind of keep looking just a little to the left. Just move your mouse a little to the left, a little to the left, a little to the left. Notice how it's following you. Okay.
Oh, so
go a little bit harder. Go a little bit harder. There you go. Still following you. Still following you. Go real hard. There you go. It broke free. It's not going to follow you anymore.
Oh, so you got to do a little at a time.
Yes. So you've got rough aiming with the keyboard, and then you've got fine aiming with the mouse. So German precision, precise, fine aiming. So when you're coming in on your line, you're going to be using your keyboard. But when you're trying to make that shot, you're going to be using the mouse. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So one thing that you can definitely still do, there you go, big hits, bam. One thing that you can definitely still do is speed up and slow down using your keyboard. The W key, the S key, that's okay. That doesn't affect your aiming. But the left and right and stuff, if your mouse, like for instance, I want you to, like you're looking now, push left on the keyboard. Push left on the keyboard and look a little to the right and let go. Let go of left. Just a little bit. Just like dab it. Just tap it a little bit. Sorry. Point your mouse forward and then just tap the left key a little bit and then let go. Notice how it just keeps pulling back. Do it a little more. Tap, 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 tap. So like you can, use your keyboard to fight with the mouse and stuff, but like it's miserable. So so you do not want to do that. Okay, so go ahead and recall. We're gonna now that we've learned, we've learned about the reticle, we've learned about aiming, we're gonna go and we're gonna kill one of those Omahas.
Okay. Even though I just did. That's okay. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you're gonna kill another one. That's why we have a few of them to shoot.
I know. I'm playing. Okay. All right, this is good. All right. All right, so I can use the keys to get over there. However, once I get over there, use the mouse.
Yeah, so there's big aim, or there's big turning, and then there's little turning. Big turning it's rough. Little turning is much more precise. German precision.
Okay. You don't have to be right up on them.
Yeah, so you could start it there, which is great.
My screen just popped up.
Oh, I think you still get some citadels there. You do. It was a good hit. So turn to your right, and if you look over your shoulder while you're using the keyboard, you can look at the ship you want to attack, right? Because you can move the mouse while you're using the keyboard to turn, and you can look at stuff. And now that you're close, cool, you're using the keyboard, cool. You could even accelerate a little if you were worried that maybe it was going to time out, but it didn't. Wham, you get another 8,000 damage, which is pretty good. So I want you to look hard to the right, and look back at one of those Omahas, and now turn.
Okay.
Do you want to turn? So good, you're turning to the right. Why? Because it's going to give you a better line. So sometimes you can just turn and look at your target, see what they're doing, and then use the keyboard to turn to set yourself up for that next strike. And you can speed up a little bit here. So I made you aim a little high because I think I sped you up a bit. But if you're ever concerned like, uh-oh, I don't know if I have enough time to get there, you can speed up. It's okay. If you're a little too close and you need a little more time to aim, you can slow down. With me personally, I tend to slow down just before I shoot with the German rockets, just because, you know, I'm scared I'll overshoot it. So I want to slow down just for me. But yeah. Okay, there's an advanced technique called curling. Do you want to try to learn what that is?
Oh boy. That's a Canadian sport, but yeah, I'll try it in World of Warships.
Okay. So I want you to go ahead and take some rocket planes. Now, what is curling? So you want to hit the broadside of that Omaha, but in a game, the Omaha is going to move. And if it's a player, they're going to turn because they don't want you to shoot them. So sometimes you're going to have to turn to try to follow that ship. So I want you to turn to your right some, turn to your right, and I want you to fly to the right a little while. Just turn right, turn right, turn right, turn right, turn right, turn right, keep flying for a little bit. Okay, and just like, turn left. Now you're just kind of going in circles. little to your left, and go forward. Go straight. Good. Now I want you to turn left, and that Omaha you see, I want you to strike it. But if you'll notice, he's super bow in, so that's pretty rough, right? So we're gonna put the reticle left of the Omaha. Left, 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 left. There we go. And we're gonna start the attack right about now. And we're gonna hard turn, and we're gonna find that Omaha. We're gonna try and strike him. Now this is something that you practice over and over and over again in the training room until you can do it.
Oh,
But that's,
I didn't do that. Oh, wow.
well,
Okay.
yeah, but you were really close, right? So that's something that you can do. If you can't really just get that magic broadside shot, sometimes when the enemy tries to turn, you can make those really sharp turns and still try to catch them anyway. And I have some videos that I can link to you to kind of give you an idea mentally of what I'm trying to ask for, because it's kind of tough to describe. This is a little high because that center line was past the water line of the ship.
Water line. Okay.
Yeah, so we want it to be just a little above that water line, almost as though that line is inside the ship.
Okay.
So go ahead and take one more shot, and then we're going to look at the bombs.
Okay.
So that was great. So one of the reasons why we don't want to shoot completely at the water line is some of the rockets are going to go up and some of the rockets are going to go down. And the ones that go down hit the water and they don't do anything. Right. So if we do it just a little bit inside the ship, then hopefully all the rockets hit. Some of them will get Citadel, some of them won't. That's okay. Go ahead and recall and let's use the bombs.
Okay.
Okay, so we already learned what that reticle means. That's where it's fully aimed in. Well, one of the things that's specific about this, there's two things you need to do. First, I need you to use the mouse wheel and scroll out. But pull the camera away if you can. I think you can like roll it forward or roll it backward. If you roll it backward, you should scroll out. So you want to be as far away from the planes as possible. The reason for that is with this, the way that this aims, if you look forward, there's going to be flak that you're going to have to dodge and stuff. And if you zoom out, you can kind of see them both. Okay, so we started the attack, and I think there was a little bit of keyboard versus mouse. And we saw that it dialed in, like that reticle got nice and small, but then it started to get bigger again because you kept moving, you kept moving. So I want you to look at one of the battleships.
Okay.
Get a good line for it. And then with the reticle a little short of the battleship, go ahead and start, click on it. Because just like with the rockets, we're going to get that reticle nice and set, and then we're going to drag it on top of the enemy ship and take the drop.
Oh, shoot.
It was a little bit late. It happens. So with the rockets, you probably want to give a fairly decent amount of space. With the bombs, you don't have to give very much, but the bombs are kind of tricky because like you're sitting there like, okay, it's almost aimed, and then suddenly it's aimed and it just lurches forward. So you have to put it like, you don't have to aim, on top of the Byron, but you can aim just below it. You can aim close. And then you'll see it'll lock in, and then it'll start to push forward, and then you can make your drop. So like right there is great, and it lurches forward, and then you get to do the thing. So this reticle is designed for battleships. It's really small, so you could use this to hit cruisers, you could use this to hit battleships, or destroyers. But I mean, the smaller the enemy ship, the more likely you miss. So sometimes you just gotta try.
Yeah,
but
it's rare that I get a hit on a DD.
well, the more you try, the more you do it. Okay, so you can bomb the Omaha. We'll just do two or three little more bomb things, and then I'm going to show you the torps real quick, and then then we can do some co-op, because you got to learn how to shoot, and then once you know how to shoot, then you can go, well, shoot stuff. That worked out real well. Okay, so another thing that we can learn. I want you to...
Is it always head on?
Always head on? Oh, it can be from any direction with these planes. Because that reticle is just a little circle, so it doesn't matter what direction you're coming at. There are other ships where the reticle is longer some ways, and you have to factor that in.
Right.
So let's look at one of the Byrons. And we'll go attack a Byron or attack the Omaha. It's up to you. We're going to attack something. But once you... Okay, start your attack. And once you drop, I want you to hold down the D key. So you hard turn. D key, D key, D key. Hold the D key. And you'll notice the planes are turning. So even though we were watching the bombs fall, the planes were still doing stuff. So you can actually use that time. So like if you bomb the Byron, you could hard turn and already be like halfway through your turn to come back in to bomb the Byron again. So instead of having to fly all the way away and then turn around and fly all the way back, you can use that to stay on top of something. That's in the game, people refer to that as a slingshot, which is a longer explanation. But for the long and the short of it is, it's worth remembering that even though you're watching the bombs fall or the rockets do something or whatever, you're still controlling the planes, and you can move them to a position that helps you with your follow-up strike. So I want you to hit W, make your carrier go full forward.
Okay.
One more. There you go, full, and then take off with the torpedo planes.
Torpedoes, okay.
Yes. So the torpedoes on the Lowenhart suck. They are the worst weapon on it because they're really weak and they're really slow. But, sometimes you don't have any more rockets and you're out of bombs, so it gives you something to do, right? So I want you to torp your own hull. I want you to torp the hull that's moving. Don't worry, it's okay. We're at a training room. The hull doesn't care. So ideally, you're going to be moving 20 or 30 kilometers. Okay, so we're doing the mouse keyboard fight again. And okay, so if we watch this, one of those torps is probably going to miss. Maybe it catches you on that. No, okay, and it did miss. So when you're dropping, you have to think, my torpedo and this is going 32 knots. The Lowenhart's going like 32 knots. So we kind of have to make like a right angle triangle. So you start your attack. You can start before the reticle is super close, because just like with the rockets, it's going to lock in, and then you've got seconds of worth of time. And in this case, if your torpedoes are going 32 and the Lowenhart's going 32, they're going to have a really hard time catching it.
Yeah, shoot.
So with these torps, you got to lead a lot.
Okay.
Well, you can't torp one of them because they're not moving, so that's just cheating. That's why you got to torp your own hull.
Well, just for practice.
I need a win.
And plus, you have to give it time to arm.
Yes, so that's what the... I mean, it looks like you already see where the arming distance is, so that's cool. So let's try and get 2 torps to hit your Lowenhart. Let's try and get 2 torps to hit the carrier. So fly a distance away, just fine, a little more, and then turn to your left so you can spin around and look at the carrier. Okay. So I want you to put the reticle about there. Start your attack. Not to the right, to the right, to the right. So if you're looking at the carrier, then the whole time you're looking at the carrier, you're having to turn to stay in front of the carrier.
Oh,
And while
that
you're
was too far
turning,
away.
yeah, it was. So I want you to like go in on the Lowenhart, but I want you to drop almost like 2 ship lengths in front of it, because you can see how big the ship
Oh,
is.
okay.
Like
Yes.
2 of them. And
Okay.
this is not going to be a good angle because your torpedoes are going to have to chase the ship. And that's actually going to be a little too close because we're just not going to be able to do that. But you go ahead, drop, just be done with it so you don't have to wait it out. And let's try to get 2 torpedoes into your hull. Okay, let me change this real quick.
Oh, wow, I need to go further out. Okay, and go left.
There you go. Do that. Shoot.
Okay, 2 lengths.
Yep. So start your
right
attack there, and you don't even have to wiggle around or look or anything. You're just going to get all zoned in, and you can speed up a little. Oh, that's super far away though. So you're gonna on your reticle there's like a section that was yellow and then it turns green, right? You want the edge of that green, just like when we dropped, those AP rockets, we wanted it to be just inside the ship. On this one, we want it to be just a little short of the ship because we want it to arm, but we want it to arm just before it hits the ship.
Oh, okay, because it always looks so close, so I get nervous. So,
Sure.
okay. I do. All right, so this guy's moving. 2 ship lengths for this one.
Yeah,
1,
start your attack.
2.
And you can slow down if you need to aim some more. A little more to the left. And there, maybe. So, when doing that, so unfortunately, we're just way too far ahead. When you don't look at the ship that you're trying to aim for, it's really hard to know where to place them. So, if you're coming in broadside, you're going to have a really good idea because you're going to see the ship while you're coming in. Coming in that like chasing angle is going to be pretty tough. So more to the right, slow down, more to the right, because we want like 2 ship lengths, and those are too close. That's going to dud because
Yeah, it didn't arm.
That's okay. So let's go ahead.
Suck. All right, I'm gonna try again.
Well, your carrier's gonna hit the hull or hit the side of the map, so it's gonna start doing the weird slidey thing. So, go ahead and hit escape and exit to port.
Oh. Boo.
That's okay.
He's like, you're so bad. We gotta exit the port. No, I'm just kidding. All right, no, this is good. Okay.
All right, so at this point, we can do some co-op. Co-op is usually pretty forgiving. A lot of people in co-op are more than happy to murder face some bots, so you don't have to carry the load all by yourself. But you will get to fly around and shoot at some stuff, which is the goal. Or there's operations. Operations are going to give you ability there too, but you want to feel pretty good about being able to shoot stuff before you do operations. Because, everybody's counting on each other. Right. So you've got co-op selected, you can go ahead and just hit battle.
Okay. Thank you for all the new family members that joined in. Welcome, everyone. We do have Oskance here with us, helping me learn how to be a better CV player.
Okay, so if we look at the lineup, you've got a Trento, a Miyoko, a Helena, a Charles. The Charles is tier 8, so that's going to be kind of tough to Citadel, but the Lowenhart rockets are tier 8 rockets, so they might be able to do it. But the Trento, the tier 6, that's probably the best one for you to go after to get those broadside Citadels. Maybe the Miyoko as well. I think the Helena is a light cruiser, and it's really hard to find at Citadel, so that's probably not going to be so great. You are in a German CV, so in general, you can lift off with rocket planes. It's going to be tough for you to interact with destroyers. That's just kind of the German thing. Right. Although, you might be able to bomb one, and if the bomb hits, it's going to hurt a lot. And if you can hold tab for me real quick.
Okay.
So typically, you're going to use rockets for the cruisers, you're going to use bombs for the battleships, or bombs for the DD, and then torps whenever you don't have, the other good stuff to use.
Okay.
Is basically the way that it's going to work out. So right now, because we're in rocket planes, we're looking for a cruiser so that we can go in and smack the cruiser real hard.
Okay. Okay. Oh.
So there's a Helena, there's a Charles
Yeah.
off in the distance because we see a plane. We could strike the Charles. Yep. So the Charles has a fighter. So because of that, start your attack. Okay, well, the fighter just went down. So use the mouse. Okay, now we notice this is moving. So when you're attacking a moving ship like that with rockets, you're going to want to shoot at like the tip of the nose. Yeah. Tip of the nose or like just under that front gun because there's going to be some travel time. So let's take the bombs.
Okay.
We know where the Yukikaze was. We just saw the DD. He's still on the mini-map or whatever. So we could try to bomb the DD, which is going to be tough. Because just like with the rockets, there's going to be some travel time for the bombs to fall from the planes to the surface of the water. So we need to make sure that we're leading the target by a little bit. Or you could make the planes go really low to the water before you drop and see if maybe that helps out. But it's just something you learn with practice.
Okay. Oh, great. And then there's the Charles. Oh,
well, I mean, worst case, you could bomb him too, but the DD should be in front of him. So DD just showed up there off to the right, but it's okay.
Of course he did.
You can bomb the Charles. It's okay. No! Yeah. Indecision. Yeah. Indecision's a killer. So let's take the rockets for the Charles.
I tried to move over to the Charles, so yeah, it was epic fail. Oh, of course, blind potato. Yeah, this is good. This is a good way to learn.
Carriers are different. It's the truth of it. Carriers are different. So it's a whole different set of skills. There's a lot of similarities to it, but at the same time, there's a lot of not similarities. So we could rocket the Helena if you want to go for that. That's just fine. All right, so start your attack and go fast. Start your attack and use the boost, and then make sure to use that mouse to aim at the nose of the ship. Okay, you did some damage. It's really hard to Citadel Helena, because I'm pretty sure that's a light cruiser, and they have really hard to hit Citadels. So we could take the bombs, or we could take the torpedoes. That's up to you. Let's go ahead and take torpedoes. Okay, so there's a Dunkirk that right now is kind of by itself. That Charles is probably going to die, so the Charles will probably go down. So let's look at the Dunkirk. Now remember, the Dunkirk's going to be going around 30-something knots. Your torps go about 30 knots. So you want to kind of make a right angle triangle. So if you can imagine the battleship, like you're trying to attack a battleship that's like 1.5 battleships in front of the Dunkirk. That's where you're going to attack, and then he's going to sail into the torps. Now make sure you use your mouse. Don't fight with the keyboard mouse stuff. All right, so you attacked. Well, that's a little late because you see the green line was past the battleship.
Yeah.
Hey, you hit him, so that's good.
Oh, it didn't count.
Yeah, because they didn't arm.
Yeah, they didn't arm.
Yeah, so I just call that dink. Like dink.
Dink.
Yeah. Okay, so you could take bombs or you could take torps for the Dunkirk. Bombs are great against battleships. You're not going to want to take rockets. Now, rockets can hurt battleships, but because they're armor piercing, they don't set fires, they don't make floods, they don't do any of that stuff. So realistically, if we bomb the battleship or we torp it and we set a fire or a flood, that's going to be a lot of extra damage. And since the bombs are like, that reticle is like perfect for battleships where it's kind of hard to miss if you get it right on the center of the battleship, it's great to use. And you don't have to run with your carrier anymore because there's only 2 bad guys and you've got a lot of teammates. So you could actually turn around and come toward them.
Okay. I got this Colorado in front of me.
So you got a good line. You start your attack before you're on the ship. Cool. And it's firmed up. Nice drop.
Thanks.
You got 2 hits. Didn't happen to get a fire. You don't get a fire every time. Because you only have 2 planes left, if you go back in on the Colorado, he's probably going to shoot one of those planes down before you get to him. So you could make the choice, I'll go in there and I'll drop 1 bomb, or you could recall. Good news, he's dead, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So let's take rockets for the Vesser, the enemy CV, and let's make sure you're moving your CV back toward everybody else. So it's always okay to play safe with your hull, but the further away you are, the longer it takes for you to get anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
In lower tiers, usually battleships don't have like a lot of range. They have like 20 kilometers of range, and you can see based on that circle what 13 kilometers is. So, you know, half again a little further is about 20, and that's basically where stuff's going to stop shooting. So as long as like a battleship can't shoot you, you're probably okay. I usually try to keep my carrier about 1 grid square away from the front line so that I'm close enough to be participating, but I'm far enough back that I could reverse or I could run or do something to keep me safe, but I can still interact with the battle. And unfortunately, it's a long, long trip. Because this is probably about a 36, 40 kilometer, run to get from point A to point B. So it can be kind of tough.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to attack the water. Just go ahead, attack the water right now. Right now. This is what's called a pre-drop. And I want you to hard turn to the left. Hard turn to the left. Don't attack the carrier. Run away. Hard turn to the left. Drop. Shoot. You got to shoot the water. So what this is, okay. And you see right now we've got fighters that are latched. So those fighters are going to come over and they're going to shoot your planes. So you had 6 planes, right? That's what you lifted off with, 6 planes. Okay, so you're going to go over and you're going to attack the Vesser. And you're going to shoot with 2 of those planes. And they're going to leave. And that leaves 4 planes. One of them might get shot down by AA. And then the Vesser has that defensive fighter that's just going to circle around the hull. And it's going to kill any, like, up to 3 remaining planes or something. So if you came in with 6, and 1 gets shot down by AA, and 2 of them shoot and then leave, well, then 3 of your planes get shot down by a fighter. So that sucks. So what happens if you shoot once, send 2 planes off, and now you've only got the 4? You come in, you lose 1 to AA, you shoot with 2, and then the fighter kills 1 plane. It's better to lose 1 plane than 3. So if you're going to attack a carrier, you always need to keep into your mind there's a defensive fighter there, so maybe I should get rid of a few planes so I have enough that I can get in and do what I'm going to do without throwing away extra planes. Go ahead, play again.
Okay. We're going to do better this time, folks. Promise.
But that's known as pre-dropping. So sometimes, especially in higher tier games, because the AA gets much stronger, much crazier, you have situations where there's 2 or 3 ships that are right next to each other, and they're just going to shoot all kinds of planes down. So you might attack something where you've got 9 planes, and if I'm going to attack this, I'm going to lose 3. Well, pre-drop, come in with 6, lose 3, and then you shoot with the other 3. And you did what you needed to do, but you didn't risk extra planes for it. It's I guess you could think of it more as like an advanced tactic, because you're going to have to be like looking at what's going on and thinking, how much am I bringing? How much am I risking? But in general, it's just something to keep in the back of your mind. And especially if you're attacking an enemy CV, those fighters are going to be there because the hull has a little protective fighter. So it's just something to know and get in the habit of.
Okay.
So there's a lot of bots, so you might lose this one. Because sometimes
Oh
your
yeah,
bots
because
like to suicide to their bots, and then suddenly there's like 7 of them and 2 of you, and it's like great. So,
oy vey.
but let's
All
start
right,
off with the rockets, and there's a
rockets.
bunch of cruisers that you can try and hit. So if you can get some really good citadel damage in, and you can rip into some of those cruisers, then maybe you guys are definitely going to win.
Thank you, Michael. I will hydrate. Another thing I learned too, not
Hey,
to
Onos.
try to aim when you're over a mountain.
Yeah, it can be tough. Okay, so you need to run away because there's like all kinds of fighters over here. There's a fighter
Right.
there, and then there's fighters on the cruisers. So, yep, woof. Go ahead and drop a fighter. Hit T. So that's going to do 2 things. The fighter's going to help by spotting for a little while until it gets shot down or whatever. And 2, because it's close enough to that other fighter, which you might actually have just flown into. I think you did. And it just latched, so now it's going to shoot down some planes. But you're going in on the Emil, but unfortunately you're coming in from the nose, so that's not going to get you very much. And you've only got 1 plane left, so I think you should just recall. All right, so let's get the bombs out. Maybe we can hit some of those destroyers.
Oh geez, destroyer. Oh, that's gonna be rough. Because they like a wiggle wiggle.
Yeah, they are tough. And your reticle is small, but it's built for a battleship. So, like, I tested it in a training room, and like it misses maybe 40% of the time. So, I mean, you can hit, but you can also miss, and it really sucks when you do. So you need to lead like a lot, because if you drop
Oh
here,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
super
It's
behind.
them.
So
Yeah.
you could do 2 things. You could either drop with like a lot of lead, or you could make your planes go really low to the water and then drop. But you know, it's just something that you learn through doing it. Let's go for the accosted to the left, the destroyer. Turn to the left. Well, okay, you're going for the Furitaka. That's okay. But again, we have to lead with those bombs. So you can get really low in the water, but it takes a long time. So you still have to like lead a pretty significant amount. Okay, so we got some rocket planes. So we're probably looking at that Emil Burton. So when we're attacking, we got to remember that when we're attacking, we need to use the mouse to aim. And we need to be putting the reticle on the nose of the enemy ship. So that it'll sail into the rockets and get broadside stuff. Well, that's actually going to be really hard to hit the Emil from here, so you're going to have to change so that you can get that side shot. Well, that's true, but like you can't take that shot. Now the Furitaka you are a little too close to now as well, so we're going to have to get a good line. We're going to have to find a good way to go in on that. So turn to the right maybe and try to find that broadside of the Furitaka.
Oh geez. Hello, Arizona.
Well, so you could shoot the Arizona, but you might shatter because you have armor-piercing rockets, and it's a battleship, so it has lots of armor. So torpedo protection hit, so you didn't get inside the ship. Let's go for the Furitaka. It's off to your right. There he is, Makarov. Okay, so you kind of see some broadside. Watch out for the rocks. Start your aiming. No, you might overshoot a little.
Oh shoot!
Because of the rock. So you got to remember, German rocket planes, they're really scared of dirt. They don't like getting dirty. There's something about it. You know.
Okay.
Somebody got chewed out in basic training or something. How dare this boot be scuffed? And they're just like, nope, not even doing it. So you could do rocket planes for maybe the Emerald or bombs for the Arizona. Well, the Emerald's dead, so you can use bombs for the Arizona. Looks like that's going to be the thing.
Yep, that's what I'm working on.
Yeah, so I tend to recommend the US line for how to learn CVs, because Well, they have high explosive bombs, which you can already see we're using high explosive bombs with the Lowenhart, and this is probably like your best weapon. Granted, the leading stuff, I guess, we're still working on, but in general, high explosive, as long as you hit the enemy, you're probably doing some damage, which is good. And the US line has high explosive rockets and has high explosive bombs. Good hit.
Thanks.
So both bombs hit, which is great. Plus you got a fire. You want to spin around and you want to go right back onto the Arizona again. But watch out, there's fighters there. They're going to latch. Oh, they latched. And the fighters are going to track you down. They're going to shoot down 3 planes. But you still have 1 plane, so you can go over and bomb the Arizona with that. There you go, and that one's going to hit too, because that was a good drop. And you got a fire.
Thanks.
And because it probably ended up damage commenting the other fire, that fire is going to stick, so you're going to get some damage there. So you can take rockets or bombs. You can rockets for the Kotovsky, bombs for the Arizona, or you could bomb the Kotovsky if the Arizona is dead. Okay, so we got some rockets, so we're looking at the Kotovsky. Mm-hmm. Also, you can bring your carrier forward, because you guys are doing pretty well. And you've got a lot of health, so even if you get shot a little, that's okay. Ooh. That map flippy thing is trippy. Okay, so we gotta beware of the dirt.
Yep, they don't like dirt.
Yep, they're scared of dirt. So you start your attack now, because you're early. So that way it's nice and firmed up and stuff. But we were too close to the dirt. It was too much. So
too close to the dirt.
All right, start turning to the right so you can swing back onto the Kotovsky.
Okay.
All right, so you might go down by the time you get there, but we can still make sure that we're trying to do good. Okay, so you could have started the attack a little earlier. To the left, to the left. Well, that's probably going to work out, though. Well, it's going really slow, so it was okay. But when we're shooting the rockets, we do want to kind of aim at that front gun or aim at that nose, because if they're moving, you got to lead with the rockets a little.
Right. Okay.
All right, so the only thing left on the map is the enemy CV, so you got to go try to find it. So it was last spotted over on I-2, which is going to move around. It's so weird.
What's so funny?
The rotating mini-map is trippy.
Oh, okay. I think he's just hiding.
Yeah, so usually if there's a bot carrier, it's just going to be somewhere in the back spinning in a circle. Like, that's just what it does. So it'll be all the way back there, you know, rammed against an island or spinning in a circle or something. Purple aliens, I don't think turning is still a challenge. So the braking during turns to make sharper turns and stuff, I mean, it's good information. All right, remember what I said about pre-dropping? You see those 4 planes there? Okay, well, it's too late now, so we're going to go in. We've got 6 planes. The AA is shooting down 1 plane, and it's just about to be dead. Okay, 1 plane went down. We got 3 planes left, and that fighter just landed? Okay, well, you got lucky. So those fighters decided they wanted to go make themselves a sandwich, so they went down and decided not to shoot you. So you can go shoot them again.
They know not to mess with the WOWStarLord. No, I'm just kidding.
I guess. They were desperate for an ice cream break.
I know, right?
But normally, they would latch on to the remaining planes and then come over and shoot them. So it's not a bad idea to pre-drop. But good hits.
Thanks.
I will give an instruction in a little bit. Okay. Okay, so there's just 1 CV left. and then I will stream my screen, and I will show
Okay.
you some stuff
Okay.
in Discord, and then you can run around and practice some, because I think you got a lot of homework.
Thanks.
It's
No, that's
okay.
fine. That's
So
fine.
we're about to attack a carrier. What do you do if you're going to attack a carrier?
I gotta go broadside.
You pre-drop. So you're going to shoot the water. Start the attack, shoot the water. There you go. Now you're down to 4 planes.
Okay.
Now you can strike the carrier. But German rockets don't like getting dirty. So that island, no. Oh, you're doubling down on it. Nope. Nope.
Oh.
Well, if you shoot, those planes will leave because the fighters don't kill planes that don't have any ammo, so they let them run. Well, the good news is Schofield's going down. So carrier's reversing.
Put.
Yeah, but it's reversing really slow. Whoop. Okay. So once Schofield goes down, do you have something on your, because it sounds like you're streaming. Do you have something where you can show what you see, like where you can show your screen, or no? Some streamers might, some streamers might not.
I have Streamlabs OBS that shows what I'm doing. I don't know what you mean.
Well, I don't really know how to describe it either. Well, I would like to show you some stuff either on my stream or
oh, we can multi-stream.
Multi-stream. Well, I just need to know how I can show you what I'm showing you, but that your stream could also see it.
Right. So I'm gonna open up my stream elements. Give me one moment.
Well, let me know when you can see my stream, and then I can show you some stuff, because I'm going to use paint like a little whiteboard or chalkboard and kind of say some stuff.
Okay.
And I guess to everybody in her stream, you could either visit mine to see it, or she might be able to stream it on her screen too. I don't know.
Okay. So it's AHSKANCE. So there's no other numbers for your stream.
Nope.
That's your name. And then layout. Okay. And you're streaming right now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I think this will work. Oh, shoot. Why does it have that one? That's weird. Okay, hold on. I don't like that link, folks. Wrong one. Save. Okay, there we go.
Okay,
so
cool.
Everyone, with the link I just posted, where it says WOWStarLord/Oscods layout 3, please click on that and you can see both of us at the same time.
Cool. All right, so are you able to see my stream as well?
Mm-hmm.
Rockin'. So I'm going to open up Paintbrush, and I'm going to use that to kind of display some stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so, yeah. There were times where you would strike a ship. We'll do this. So here is the ship.
Mm-hmm.
and your planes are going to be coming in from this angle, and you strike, and they're going to keep going. And then if you turn left and you turn all the way around, well, this isn't a really good broadside because now you're at an angle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead, what if you do this? While you shoot, you turn to the left. So they're already kind of over here, and then the camera is going to stop looking at the rockets. It's going to come over here and it's going to catch up to your planes. And then you start turning to the right. That's going to give you a much better shot, right? So it kind of looks like a light bulb, almost.
Okay.
Is basically what we're talking about here. You know, hey, it's a light bulb. So that's one way to follow up and approach stuff. Secondly, there was a comment made in chat by the CV main, or a guy who plays CV a lot, that when you're turning, if you slow down, so if you hold the S key, you'll turn more sharply. So you can turn back in a little easier. So if you speed up, it's going to be a wider turn. If you slow down, it's going to be a sharper turn, which can help you in trying to turn around to catch back in to get those shots.
Okay.
Okay, and then something else, because torpedoes was really tough. So how to aim torpedoes. So if this ship is going in this direction, 30 knots, say, your torps are going to take a period of time to aim. So we'll do something like this, because it was like 2 torps at a time or whatever, right? And then this will be our little aiming box thing. So if this amount of time from the drop, let's use a different color. Use this. Your torps drop, they land, and then they start moving forward. If this amount of time is, we'll say 3 seconds to go doot, 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 and then arm, right? Well, how long does it take this battleship to move? 3 seconds. Maybe it goes 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and then it's going to end up being here by that time. So what we're kind of doing is creating a right angle triangle. If you remember that from school, where it's kind of like the little 90-degree thing.
Right.
Where this amount of time is equal to this amount of time. And then there are some ships that have faster torpedoes where instead of being 32 knots, they might end up being like 50, in which case you drop all the way back here because they're going to go further in the amount of time it takes this ship to go forward. So it's still a right angle triangle, but this one's shorter and this one's farther. This is something you learn. So by all means, you know, play co-op, because the more you get used to dropping stuff, you can get so good at it that you can see a destroyer that's going like pretty fast. And even though it's a really small boat and stuff, you can just kind of feel, you know, use the force as to how far forward you have to drop the torpedoes. You'll get some good hits there. So that was 2 things that I really wanted to point out. One was for the torp stuff. So when you're coming in, you're going to have this little, whatever, we're just going to make that go away. You're going to have this little reticle. This little angle pip thing, whatever. That little thingy. So if we think about it, this is like 1 ship length, and this is like 2 ship lengths. So if you put this little reticle about 2 ship lengths ahead, so this is where you click when you start, and you're just going to keep on going over here, and if this guy starts to slow down, well then you start to turn a little bit. This guy starts to speed up or whatever, you know, suddenly, wow, you're going fast, then you can turn out a little bit. But if you're using this line to where you're just going nice and straight and you're aiming and now, oh, good, I'm all good and aimed, then you can adjust after you finished aiming to try to follow what's going on. Often a newer player, what they're going to do is, okay, this is my target, I want to look at this, so I'm going to put this right here, and then I'm going to start my attack, but this is moving up. Okay, up, I got to turn, and it's moving up, I got to turn, and every time you turn, you slow down how quickly you aim, so it gets really tough to be able to make this drop, as opposed to just coming in over here, and then if you turn a little bit, if they're slower, or turn out a little bit if they're faster. Okay, so I'm going to close this, and we can do another co-op game, and see what we've learned.
Okay, here we go, folks.
You got this. Hey, you have played 2 co-op games and won both of them, so you got that going for you.
Well, I appreciate everything. I really do.
Yeah, everybody starts somewhere. So I know you were newer, and
Oh yeah, a lot
for
new.
those that are in her channel as well as in mine, I joined COG, the Casual Organization of Global Gamers, which was started by a dude named Wookie. Basically, he started streaming and he asked other people for help, I guess, and a lot of people just didn't have the time or didn't have the interest in helping, so he got a little frustrated and he made his I'm Gonna Help People group. So I help people, it's what I do, so I joined, sure. And I don't often look at the little who's in COG that's currently on, but I did one day and I saw WOWStarLord, so I sent a raid over there, and the folks from my channel also like to help. I like to help. A lot of the folks in the channel like to help, and sure enough, I think she ran some operations with them, got to hang out for a while, and I heard just she was awesome. We like her.
Oh, thank you.
You know, I've sent some more raids over there. I've never heard anything bad. And she was over in my channel saying, hey, I started playing CVs. So it's, well, I can give you a little lesson. And that's what we're doing today. So, all right, so let's hold tab and let's see what we're against. Okay, so we know the Omaha. We've dealt with that. The Emerald is really similar to the Omaha, so that's easy to Citadel. Kotovsky's probably pretty easy too. Dallas is a light cruiser. Light cruisers, their Citadels are really small, they're kind of thin, so it's actually hard for you to get good Citadel stuff on that. So the Omaha, the Emerald, the Kotovsky, those are going to be great to deal with. And then we've got some bombs for the DDs, we got some bombs for the battleships. And then we can torp stuff when we've run out of everything else, because the torps on the low and hard are not great.
All right, I guess where I'm kind of confused is that's right, Harlock. He knows carriers. Big facts.
There you go. Hard turn, hard turn, hard turn. Get your line. Use the mouse to aim. Aim for the nose. Click. Aim for the nose. Aim for the nose. And shoot. There we go. That's beautiful. Boom. 8,000. So you can hard turn. You can do it again. Hard turn. Hard turn. Spin around. Spin to the right.
Spinning.
Go after that emerald again. Start your attack. Start your attack. Here you go. Aim for that nose. And a little low, but still got some good damage. Bam. So
wow.
You only have 4 rockets now, so why don't we go to bombs? And we can use bombs and maybe we can hit that Gepard or something.
Okay. I'll give it a go. Wow, I already have 12,000.
Yeah. So German precision. When you have the shots, when you've got those precise shots, you can do some amazing stuff with it. But that's one of the reasons why German carriers are tough. Okay, so we're going to go for the Gepard, assuming he's not dead. I want you to start your attack now. Start the attack now and just keep going down full speed. Hit the boost thing and just zoom, zoom, zoom. And you can see you almost got there. So if you're bombing a destroyer, you need to give a lot of space because you're going to need a lot of time to get low to the water. You can take rockets again for the Emerald or the Omaha. You can also learn how long it takes for the bombs to fall. Oh, where are you going?
Oh, I gotta get broadside.
Oh, well, yeah, but he's still ways out. So, for the bombs, you can learn how fast or how slowly they fall, so you don't have to get low to the water, but getting low to the water is probably going to be the easiest place to start when you're attacking the stuff that's smaller. So watch out for the rock. Watch out. They hate being dirty. They don't like islands. Nope. Nope. And off into the distance. You gotta be scared of the rocks when you're using the AP stuff.
Okay.
So we can go over this island, and then after we get past this island, we can turn right onto that emerald. Because if we look over to the right, you should see, hey, it's a broadside. Although they might ram. which they did, but the emerald is still alive. So you should avenge your fallen hero.
Okay,
I think you're going for the Dallas. So Dallas is going to have a small citadel, but you're going to shoot it just the same way. You're going to be coming in. You're going to aim for that nose. Start your attack. Okay. Aim for the nose using the mouse. A little more, a little more. Okay. Not quite the nose, but you did get one. And you only have one plane left, so that's going to be that. You did eat some flak. Flak is going to get tough when you get to the higher tiers, because ships are going to have more and more and more flak. But tier 4 and tier 6 are still learning tiers. So tier 6 has fighters and flak and more AA and stuff.
I don't understand what you mean by flak, though. I'm sorry.
Those little puffs in the air. Those little puffs in the air, those are like aerial bombs. They're like aerial grenades. So if you fly near one of those puffs, it deals damage to your planes. And when you get to tier 8 or you get to tier 10, you know, right now, one of those ships might shoot one little flak puff or two little flak puffs. When you get to like tier 8 or tier 10, they may shoot 6 or 8. So it's like flying through a maze sometimes. It gets pretty crazy. But that's part of the game. The higher the tier goes, the more complex and strange it can get. Right. Start your attack. Cool. So you don't have to get super low to the water because this is a battleship. So we've seen how long it takes. Good hit. 2 hits, 2 fires. The bots will put out whatever the first fire or flood or whatever is. So if you come back in and you set another fire, then that's going to stick. It's going to be permanent because it won't have damage con to put it back out. And by the way, the Dallas is not close to you and is going to be shooting you. So you're going to need to shoot that Dallas.
Okay.
Let's get some rocket planes, maybe some torpedo planes. Although with the stress of the moment, I don't think torps are going to be the best choice. Right. So let's do some rockets.
All right, Dallas.
Look to your right. You're looking at the Doria. Look to your right. To the right. There we go. So the Dallas has a fighter, but at the moment, it's an emergency situation. We're going to make the strike. So look at the nose, look at the nose, look at the nose, look at the nose. There we go. So ideally, when you're trying to make that shot, you're going to start with the reticle ahead of the ship instead of on top of the ship. So that way, you're already aimed where you got to go. You can use some bombs, you can use some torps, just use something. This is panic emergency time. This is, oh my god, we're gonna go down. Just hit a button. Go ahead and use some bombs or something. Just get something off the deck. You gotta attack the Dallas because they're shooting you and you're not shooting them. So the good news is enemy bots are pretty terrible in carriers. So your Queen Elizabeth is probably fine. Oh, we're gonna hit one there. Good. Turn around, do it again. So you're probably gonna be okay. And the Queen Elizabeth hopefully can kill this Dallas. I think you're gonna go down, but any damage you can do to the Dallas on the way out is gonna be helpful. So let's get the reticle near the ship. There we go. I don't know if that wasn't far enough ahead. Go, take off, planes, get planes in the air, go. Like, you're almost dead. There we go, okay. Abandoned ship.
I started banging on the keyboard, whatever would take off.
All right, so
oh my gosh.
You got 3 planes, so you got 1 attack on this Dallas. You got to make it count.
Okay. No pressure.
And after that, it's in the hands of the Queen Elizabeth. Lead more, lead more, lead more, lead more. That might work out. You did get one, and you got a fire, and you broke something, so that's cool.
Yeah, set that booty on fire. That's what we wanted. But
that's all she wrote. So, you got 37,000 damage. the Dallas is down. You got a Queen Elizabeth that has 4 kills going against a bot carrier that's probably terrible because it's a bot carrier. So there's a really good chance that over the next however many minutes, y'all are going to win this. So that's cool. All right, well, that's some intro to carrier. We did about an hour, and kind of an hour sort of lesson stuff. So we talked about rockets, we talked about torps, we talked about bombs. Me personally, I recommend the US line because high explosive rockets, all you have to do is hit. You're still going to be attacking from a broadside, just like with the German stuff, but you don't have to get citadels to really be like making it matter. So you can use rockets and they're just more approachable. Then you got high explosive bombs, which are the same thing as to what you had already. So it looks like you have a Langley. That's the tier 4. Ranger's the tier 6.
Right.
And then the torpedoes are also slow, just like with the Lowenhart, but they hit, they hit harder. So if you actually hit the torpedoes, they feel it.
Right.
They know they've been nudged.
Okay.
But so derp around with it, have some fun with it. Co-op's built for this kind of stuff, and if you play a bunch of co-op and you feel okay, I'm shooting stuff, I'm hitting stuff, feel kind of good about this, yeah. Well, there's a whole bunch of tier 6 operations that you can play, and all of the tier 6 ones allow a carrier. So
right, exactly.
That kind of gives you a little bit more of an immersive kind of experience without going like way off the deep end into random battles where everybody's spinning in circles to dodge all your stuff, and it's just like,
Right,
so
right.
You work yourself up to that.
Okay, well, I'm going to practice on the Langley then, but thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your patience.
So one thing to remember with the Langley, let's go over just some super basics. I want you to go to equipment real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so in slot 1, if you'll click on that. So upgrade slots. There we go. So go ahead and click on slot 1. Because right now you've got auxiliary armaments. That's going to help your AA and stuff. Well, honestly, your AA is not the thing that's going to keep you safe. The defensive fighters are what's going to keep you safe. And those come with the carrier. So let's go with Air Group Mod 1. That's going to let your planes return a little faster. And instead, whoa. Okay. So in the future, I want you to, let's click on slot 1 again, just so we can see something. I want you to click auxiliary armament, but don't go past that. We're just going to click the button and we're going to look at something. Okay. So right now it says replace for 25 doubloons. Well, that's real money currency. So it's not fun to use that if we don't have to. And you'll see Air Group Mod 1 down below it. There's this thing that says demount. If you click there, there's an option where you could sell it for half of its value, which is 62,000 credits. Who cares about that? That's really small. So don't change it because it's what we want. Right. But in the future, you can use the sell for credits thing instead of using it for doubloons.
Okay.
Go ahead and hit no, and then we can go to the next upgrade slot. So let's look at slot 2. So there's damage control system that reduces the chance of you being lit on fire. But I'm going to tell you now, if you're in a carrier and people are shooting you, you're probably dead. So that doesn't matter. Aircraft Engines Mod 1 is going to give you a little extra boost. Everybody loves boost. Let's go ahead and get Aircraft Engine Mod 1. Cool. And then for the commander, you only have 2 points on the commander, and that's okay. Tier 4 is a learning tier. It's slow. The AA is very small. It's very basic. That gives you time to learn how to shoot and interact with stuff. It can be dull, not gonna lie. It can be slow, but it's a good learning experience. Now for the commander, you've already picked what I recommend for the first slot, which is air supremacy, because having having planes is better than not having planes. Right. So that helps you have planes. The next one we're going to look at in the second line is going to be improved engines. It's going to have that little yellow triangle on it as it's a recommended thing. So improved engines makes your planes a little faster because it sucks going slow.
Right.
And then for slot 3, there's going to be 2, and we see 2 things that have a yellow triangle that don't look like a flame. One of them is going to be airplane armor. That's going to reduce just the basic AA damage you take, so it makes your planes live a little longer. And then the other one's going to give your planes a little more health. So that's the first 9 points for any commander on any CV you play.
Okay.
You can obviously change it when you feel all advanced and like, yeah, I got my stuff. But until you've got your stuff, that's going to be the first 9 points on any CV you play. So that's going to help your planes be able to do plane stuff for as long as possible. And then after that, you can start tricking stuff out.
Okay.
Okay, so have fun. If you hit escape, go to exterior really quick because your hull is naked. It is naked. So if you pick any of the colorful looking somethings, usually they're going to have an experience bonus to them. Some of the basic ones, you can pay for some credits just to keep yourself safe. But like if you pick the British looking one or whatever, it's going to have some plus experience on it. So like right there, Regina Marina, XP per battle plus 100%. Because, you know, ain't nobody got time for this, playing a million games. So it's always nice to use a camo, and as long as that camo is one of the normal ones, because you got like 80 of those, you can go down to auto resupply and click enable, so you don't have to do it every time. And if you go to signals real quick, I can just describe some basic stuff here. So of the signals, in terms of carriers, you don't need to worry about them. There's some damage signals, there's some speed stuff, there's whatever, but in general, if they see you, you're probably dead. So it's okay. And the damage stuff you don't have to worry about until you feel real good about what you're doing. But in the economic one, you do have a whole bunch of those. The one that's in the middle is plus experience. So that can be helpful when you're like trying to grind up a ship to get to the next level. Just remember, if you look at that middle flag real quick, and you'll see it says equal speed Charlie London economic signal cost 16 doubloons. And this stuff got me once where I clicked that stupid little thing. So go ahead and click the flag. Just turn it on. Boop, it's turned on. Cool. Now go down to auto resupply and hit enable. And then you'll see this little checkbox, resupply using in-game currency. And this stupid little checkbox screwed me out of like 600 doubloons before I started spending money on the game. And I was like, you're... And I was so pissed off. So that little checkbox means that if you ran out of those flags, you'd be paying doubloons every game you played, which is no fun.
Oh, yeah, no
but
bueno.
You could definitely use those flags in the meantime because you got them and it's nice to use them. So with that being said, I'm going to let you go.
Okay. Well,
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
And happy hunting.
For everything. Thank you.
All right. See ya.
All right. Take care.